Tom Grossi's in the building.
I do hate the Vikings. Yeah.
The Detroit Lions got Brian Branch. The Packers could have had Brian Branch.
Mahomes just fires it and intercepted! P for the D! Going deep for it, going for it all, caught, and nobody's there! Run! What happened, Bears? What happened? Who would have thought?
I know. Look at us.
Quick throw!
Oh!
No! Yes! Yes!
Let's make some noise.
He's gotta go finish the story!
Oh my God.
Wait, he caught that? This game is on drugs.
Sorry, wow, that was just must have inhaled too much.
Wide right again? Why would you do this, scriptwriter? Half a freaking frackin' million people. We raised a frickin' frackin' $1 million for charity.
The NFL Fan of the Year is Green Bay Packers fan Tom Grossi.
That's me?
It's frickin' frackin' time.
Okay. Grossi Posse Nation, welcome to an episode of podcast where you don't, I do Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Life keeps on getting in the way of making these skits, and so we're streaming Grossi. How the hell are we doing, folks? Great to see ya. Wasn't timing that one. I think that was about 15 minutes, I think. Holding my breath on that one. I think so. How was the movie? What movie? I didn't see no movie. I wish I went to go see. I wish I put my feet up and went to the movies and said, oh, everything is fantastic. But, nay. Hi, King. What's your hope Dallas enjoys Elam? Yes. Yes, and yes. Making some moves. Scott, how you doing? Good to see ya. He's Aaron Banks at opening. That's true. Sal with a tour. I think about my Giants recent A-Rod. Well, listen. Aaron Rodgers apparently is on a beach contemplating. There was a picture that was just going around. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it again. Someone just tweeted it out. I think it was Ian. Let me see what we got here. And we'll go through just like we've been doing for the past few days. Here we go. Aaron Rodgers. This is his current mode of apparatus. Just give me 2 seconds. Open image in new tab. Aaron Rodgers. Thinking about the things to come. And I believe. I like it. Still going with the wired little earbuds there. I like it. Not going to lose anything there. So, yes. Still thinking he's either going to Giants or Pittsburgh. Will he fulfill the prophecy and go to Minnesota? Probably not, but, you know, that's there. Basement Fire, from missing basically every stream since the charity stream to catching 2 streams in one day. That's right, Base. That's right. I appreciate you watching. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Cody, Denver freaking fracking Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos. The Broncos making some splashes. I've talked about this at GPS this morning about, you know, how exciting it was to see, you know, Funga go there. You saw Greenlaw go there. Now they got Evan Ingram, which they need a tight end, so I think that fulfills a pretty good need. Phoenix with a fire. Tell me as an Eagles fans how to feel about A.J. Dillon. Hold on 2 seconds. Is that a Moosey up the door? It is a Moosey! Buddy, the hopefully getting healthier and healthier Moosey. My Moosey! Buddy! Here you go, boy. Solid poops today. Very good. His appetite is all the way back. Very good. And no throwing up in the past couple days. So, knock on wood. Everyone things seem okay. We're progressing the right way. So, he's eating his prescription food now. And yeah, we're taking the pills. So, we're all right. We're all right. Thankfully, his energy is definitely back. So, we seem to be at in the right place. AJ Dillon. Yeah, I mean, AJ did a lot for the community, which is always appreciated. The mayor of Door County. Unfortunately, you know, I had that neck injury, which is terrifying this past season. so he didn't play at all. But he showed up to camp looking pretty lean and looking pretty good. So, I mean, unfortunately, he never became like the bruiser that we wanted. I always forget the the primetime game against the Tennessee Titans, which was like really, really good. But yeah, just wasn't that guy, unfortunately. So, yeah, I think with Philadelphia, help on the tush push. I saw a lot of that today. Those quads will definitely be there, but we'll see how he does with his opportunity in Philadelphia, but I don't think he's going to be a game changer there, just based off of what he's shown so far in Green Bay. So I think it's a pretty cheap signing for Philadelphia. Black shirt with a fire. Finish up my master's degree. Congratulations. Let's go. This week, too. Okay, all right, I like it. Glad to finally be done with school, and my Broncos are cooking. I hope you're well. They are cooking. They are cooking right now. Yeah, Broncos are looking good. Evan Ingram, Vanga, Greenlaw, I like that. Making that defense better and also just getting a threat at tight end. So I'm about that. Panthers, they did sign Rico Dowdle. Again, we'll go through the entire list. But again, I've had a skit that I've been trying to work on for the past 2 days. But with a recovering pup, things have been a little bit more stressful. Had to get my taxes done today, which that's always fun. So yes, I promise the skits are coming. I appreciate the patience. Majors with a fiver, saying if Russ goes to Cleveland and Aaron Rodgers goes to the Giants or retires, who do you think will be the Steelers QB? They bring back Russ? I think they bring back Russ, maybe, if all those things go that way. But I think that I know we're kind of joking about it, but I think that there is a pretty darn good chance that he winds up with Pittsburgh. I think so. Yeah, last night, I was going to do a video about that too. It was crazy. So, yeah, Joey Bosa signing with the Bills. I'm not totally moved by this move. Schedule usually comes out in May. But, I mean, you're just taking a risk. If you watch Joey Bosa play, unfortunately, injuries have kind of just wreaked havoc on his career, not really finishing full season. So, I don't know. It's all going to depend on if he could stay on the field. He is a bit older now, so... Yeah, they got rid of Von Miller and they brought in Joey Bosa. Again, I don't think it's going to move the needle entirely. I think they still need to go get a pretty damn good pass rusher, and I wouldn't be surprised if they address it within the draft. But, seeing if it works out. Allison, 25-26 season, Lions versus Bears. Who you got? All I know is that the Bears, I think, are going to, they're making some moves. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they split. I think it's very possible. You don't have Eberflus saving any more timeouts. And I know, again, off-season champs, but I love the moves that the Bears are making in terms of just building both their lines. They're getting pass rushers. They're building the offensive line to protect Caleb. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this team looks like this year. I think that they're going to be more competitive. They just got to take the field, So... Shade with a fiver. I want Rodgers. Minnesota piss off my bar regulars. My place will immediately flip to a Packers bar. Also fair. I just don't think he would go. Let me rephrase. I don't think it's in the Vikings' best interest that he goes there. I think that you can make an argument why having Aaron Rodgers, who could still play, would be pretty damn good on the Vikings. But I think everything that I've heard is that they're rocking with JJ McCarthy. So I don't think that they would. So I know for the memes and the prophecy, it'd be funny, but I don't think so. I think the best chance he has is probably going to Pittsburgh. There's rumors out right now that he's kind of making Pittsburgh wait right now to make a decision. So we'll kind of see what happens. Cooper Kupp to the Packers. Yeah, so Cooper Kupp getting released. That's not moving the needle for me either. The Packers need another wide receiver, and I understand bringing in a veteran presence like Cooper Kupp wouldn't be too bad. But if you watch Cooper Kupp these past couple seasons, especially this past season, he's a bit slower. He's getting a bit older. There's a reason why nobody wanted to bring on that contract. I think it was owed like $20 million. It makes sense that they were just going to cut him. So, yeah, I don't think that does not fulfill the need for the Packers, a wide receiver. But... Amari Cooper, same thing. He really didn't change the game over in Buffalo. And I'm not even saying that these guys would be bad on the Packers. I'm just saying that these are kind of just stopgaps. These are kind of just Band-Aids for the holes that they currently have. So, yeah, and Kupp, I don't know. I don't know if they would throw him in the slot. So, I do not know. Gwendolyn, would they fire? Predicted Jordan Travis will pivot as soon as the year to injury back at FSU. Jordan Tavis, excuse me. I'm ready to Jordan try. All right, so Jordan Tavis will pivot as soon as this year's injury back at FSU. Maybe. What to expect from MVS? He's a field stretcher. He'll have games where like he'll play really well, and then they'll have games when he's going to be non-existent. So I feel like that's kind of normal. What would stop you from being a Packers fan? I don't know what would. Honestly, it would take a lot. I mean, this is something that I've been loving since I was 6. So, well, as with a fire, likely Green Bay drafts a few wide receiver in the draft, possible vet wide receiver in free agency. Do you think the Packers cut Watson to save on the cap? No, because no. He's on a rookie deal. The savings would be so minimal. And again, we'll see when he's coming back. I saw that he was already running, which is good, on a treadmill. So we'll see when he comes back. I know that early estimates were like it's probably going to be a few months into the season, but there's no reason to. So going in with a tour, he was the same guy that prevented FSU to the playoffs. Blast with a fire. Cooper Kupp posted a lot of pictures on Twitter. One of those Todd Gurley, and man, that took me back. Oh, Todd Gurley. What a time. Dude, was the best. Freaking arthritic knee. Ugh. AJ with a fire. Tom Moosey's doing better. Should Atlanta target during the draft free agency? Pass rushers. I would very much like them to go get pass rushers. We'll see. Pitts is going to be the guy, but I think that's going to be the most important thing. By the way, to save cap for Christian Watson, he's a $2.9 million cap hit, so it makes 0 sense. Zero. All right, we talked about the Bills. This was the one last night that broke down. I figured I'm just going to stay on for a bit. We'll kind of go through a bunch of free agents and we'll field some questions and stuff, but I'm cool with chilling for a while. Ty Johnson got his re-signing $5 million deal. Shakir, he already re-signed that. But Joey Bosa was the one that happened last night. Again, 1 year, $12 million guaranteed. It can go up. It has some escalators. It's not the most amount of money in the world for an edge rusher. I just don't think that this is going to move the needle a ton, and you have to worry about his health. I mean, that's just been the number one thing throughout his career, so I don't think so. The Chargers hate Justin Herbert. Nope, that's why they went and got Joe Alt. That is why. Dolphins. So we talked about. So I saw some Titans fans who were kind of pissed that they couldn't bring him back. So Westbrook, they got his 2 years, $6.5 million, which the Titans they need weapons on that offense. So I understand that they're a little bit upset, but from going to not doing a whole much, the Dolphins are making some moves. A lot of short-term deals too, which makes sense. The Dolphins are just a weird team this year. I feel like they have so much to prove, and there's so many question marks with that organization at the moment. And I mean, I talked about this before last season. Then he got an extension, was McDaniel. And I was just asking legitimately out of curiosity, saying, hey, do you think that maybe he's on the hot seat compared to what they've been able to do? And Tyreek Hill was obviously upset this past offseason. So yeah, I think that they need to freaking win a playoff game. They need to win a playoff game. And what if unrelated? No, I said those shrinking. I just saw that. Yes, that Jeff Daniels is going to be Jason Segel's dad. Yes, if you have not watched Shrinking, highly recommend. Excellent show. But yes, I am very, very excited. I think that's going to be the last season too. Bro, excited to see what Bosa could do on the Bill squad if he's healthy. Yeah. I wish him the best. I hope he does well for Buffalo. I like the Bills, but yeah, All right, Patriots, they spent a whole lot of money. We've talked about them before. Milton Williams, of course, being a big one. Morgan Moses is a little bit older, but they're giving him a deal. They need to build up their offensive line. I would be shocked if the Patriots are still not going to be targeting offensive line and wide receiver. The big question mark, I think, right now for the Patriots is, it's more just like the NFL as a whole right now, is what's going to happen with some of these wide receivers, right? So people mentioned, Cooper Kupp, he's getting released. Stephon Diggs, we'll see if he winds up back with Houston, but he's coming off an injury as well. So there's these guys I think you could pick up, these veterans who are not going to cost you a ton of money, but I think their ceiling is significantly limited. But there is a guy like T. Higgins who's floating around right now because who the hell knows what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing. The Bengals are going to try to figure out how they're going to sign T. Higgins and also Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has been promised to get the gajillions of dollars and be the highest paid non-QB in history. So I don't know what that is going to look like. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots could use a guy like that. They definitely could, especially after missing out on the DK Metcalf extravaganza. Yeah, they got Carlton Davis. It's free agency. I think there's a little bit too rich for me, and I do think that the Lions got an upgrade with DJ Reed. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, DeMar Hamlin also getting. I'm happy. He played well last season. So, how the Packers help the receiver room? They haven't yet. That's easy. Yeah, they're protecting Jordan Love, which is good. With Banks, but yeah, they have to address wide receiver room. I'm not panicking though. I would have liked a veteran wide receiver. There's a couple guys I would have gone for, but ultimately they didn't, or they got outbid. So they didn't put in anything for DK or Devontae, which does not shock me. But yeah, I think ultimately they can address their needs within the draft. The problem is going to be Christian Watson, right? How much time is he going to miss? You do need to just add another body there, I think, too. Wicks and Reed, they got to get a little bit better in terms of their drops, but I have a lot of faith in them. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Hollins is good. Yeah, Matt Collins, I think this is and it's cheap. Dude, I mean, it's an $8.4 million deal. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty darn cheap. I think they'll be okay. Yeah, and Trey Hendrickson, that's a great call, too. The Jets, we talked about Justin Fields yesterday, so that's a 2-year, $40 million deal. This makes all the sense in the world as the Jets just try to figure out how to football properly, which you can make an argument that they still don't know how to do. But I think under Aaron Glenn, they're going to be moving in a better direction, so I'd have some faith in there. But this happened today. Former Green Bay Packer Josh Myers signed a 1-year deal, but I want to click on this too because, hold on, because he got like no money, and I want to talk about that for a hot second. Okay. All right, so they signed him to a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. So 1 year, $3.5 million deal. So this says a couple of things. One, I know that the Packers were, at a time, very high on Josh Myers, and I know a lot of people, including myself, were like, can we please go get Creed Humphrey? But that's neither here nor there. I think ultimately just showing his value outside of Green Bay shows two things. One, the Packers, I think, could have afforded this, but they're choosing to go with a guy most likely going to be Elton Jenkins, who's going to be moving to center, which I think will be a pretty solid move. But Josh Myers, I mean, that's a drop in the bucket, and they have the cap space for it. But they decided to let him walk. And also the offer that he got from the Jets is not substantial. 1 year for $3.5 million is not a lot of money, especially for a starting center, which Josh Myers, love him or hate him, he did start. So, yeah, I think Packers have no problem letting him walk, and we'll see if Elton Jenkins is actually going to be the guy there. Benjamin Fire. Seems like there are in a lot of top flight young wide receivers right now. We're entering a wide receiver dark age and running back golden age. I don't know. I mean, there's some still really damn good wide receivers. For running back, I think that's just, there's a little recency bias, right? I mean, Derrick Henry's been great. Saquon, of course, having the season that he did last year, and anytime he's healthy, he was really good. But I think it's going to ebb and flow, and I think what's going to determine that is how much the media covers it. I mean, because back in my day, and by back in my day, I mean, what was that, last year when we were devaluing running backs and saying they weren't worth anything, and now, Saquon Barkley becomes the richest NFL running back in history. You have two running backs who were contending for MVP, so, yeah, I think, I don't know about golden age, but, yeah, I think that right now, just, if you're a good running back, you're getting some of that coverage. Spark Fire, what Giants should do is draft Hunter and sign Jameis and have them and Neighbors just have fun offense. Why not? Just have fun out there. Just have fun. Why not? Kyle with a tour. Tom, do you want us to sign Trey Hendrickson? So, I think based off of the pass rushers that we could have gotten, personally, I would have preferred to go get a young ascending pass rusher, looking at you Chicago Bears. But ultimately, Trey Hendrickson makes that pass rush better, right? So I think, as a fan, would I like to see Trey Hendrickson make my team better? Yes, very much yes. The problem that I walk into is I don't know if the Packers, and this is what I've said since the beginning, if he was a free agent, I think the Packers make a splashy move and they're at least bidding for him. But because there is draft capital involved, I don't know how much the Packers are willing to give up. And also, it's a short-term deal that has to get renewed. And I don't know if they're willing to invest that much in an older pass rusher. So, as a fan, would love it. Are the Packers going to do it? I don't think so. So I wouldn't mind it, but I don't think they're gonna do it. Creed Humphrey and Graham Barton. Oh my God! Graham Barton will forever be like one of the ones that got away. Graham Barton screamed Green Bay Packer to me. And I'm like, I think this guy's gonna be really good. It's gonna be really good. But yeah, Graham Barton. So with a fire, what if Bengals don't pay Chase and Packers trade for him? What do you think it will take to get him? So he's gonna get an insane contract, which is gonna scare the Packers. But if we're just gonna play this what if game, first round pick easy. I think you could argue multiple. Yeah, I think you could argue multiple first round picks. Necro to Fiverr. We stop losing players, please. Why didn't Gainwell go to the Steelers? He wanted to Gainwell. Just not there anymore. Just not there. Just wanted to. I know. The bleeding's happening. Labor to Fire. Thoughts Seahawks offseason. Think we addressed guard and wide receiver, neither the draft, rest of free agency. We're all set for 2025. I think that they're going to probably win less games than they did last year. I wouldn't be surprised if they're around like an 8-win team. Sam Dar, yeah, I agree. You have to go and you have to get offensive linemen. You have to. I would not be surprised if you double dip just to get some more depth there too. But go and get offensive line, and I'd feel a lot more confident about the Seahawks. Wide receivers, I don't think they're going to have a problem drafting one. I think they should be able to do that. But yeah, offensive line's the only thing that's holding them back. I don't think that they're going to win the division with their current squad, but I also don't think that's the goal. I know that sounds odd, but I think that they're just kind of in this rebuildy-ish era right now. So, Ryan Fire's 49 fan, it's over, right? No one else is going to leave? I mean, you better hope not. They're walking off left and right, so gotta be careful. Hey, we talked about this a little bit on GPS this morning, but the Baltimore Ravens, who I'm shocked by this move. They never sign aging wide receivers. Bring in DeAndre Hopkins, 1 year, $6 million deal. I actually don't hate the move. I don't think it's going to be amazing. I don't think it's going to be a game changer, but ultimately, I think it's solid adding to their wide receiver core. I don't think it hurts them in any way, and it's pretty cheap too. Because why not? I know that they tour a Jets draft a QB, the entire FSU will cry. Well, wherever you go to the Jets, it's usually a sad place. 887 with they tour. You think of Arnold and DeJean. DeJean hurt because we could have definitely used him. Arnold, I just thought was going to be a very, very good player. Necro with they tour. Oh, and thanks for AJ Dillon. You're welcome. Got all his quads. Tap with they tour. Hubbard and Rico Dowdle are going to be lethal. I hope so. Hubbard's underrated, so I hope so. All right, so we talked about the Bengals. We kind of talked about everything that they have over these past couple of days. Nothing new here. I like this sign. This is a sneaky good signing. I was so high on Oren Burks when he came out of college, too. Ugh, I miss him. And of course, he goes and does great things with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's on the 49ers, too. Cleveland. Cleveland apparently is having Russell Wilson visit. I just want to say, Cleveland, that this is a safe space. I know that things are trying at the moment, that things are difficult for my Cleveland Browns fans. But yeah, Russell Wilson is apparently visiting, which, God bless. God bless. Comment with a fire. Ravens tradition of signing a former good, great wide receiver 5 years after their last elite. Like this way better than OBJ. True. Max, if they tour. Oh, yeah. I'm getting traded to the Cowboys. We'll get there. We will get there. So, rarely see Love get sacked a lot. I was confused why we got him, but go Pack go, I guess. Daniel, so they're going to be shifting guys around on the line. We still need to figure out where Jordan Morgan is going to be. But Goody, like O-line is how the Packers have been able to be successful for the amount of time that they've been able to be successful. I mean, you can say a lot about Goody, but he usually does pretty darn well at getting O-line. He will miss at times looking at Josh Myers, but especially finding like those later round gems was pretty good. Pretty good. Rodgers, I think, might go to Pittsburgh. I think there's a really good, I think there's a good chance he goes. Gino at a fiver. Gino, you're on the Raiders now. Think Seattle should sign Kupp. I had us taking Tez or Nick Nash in the draft, but do you think Kupp would help us? You're not getting you're not okay. I don't think it's going to hurt. The contract has to be low. Like the contract has to be like 1 year, not many millions in guaranteed. Because while I think that he's still a solid wide receiver, he's slowing down. You know, and dude, watching Cooper Kupp a few years ago, just like put on an absolute clinic was awesome. But he slowed down. You know, injuries have been an issue for Cooper Kupp a little bit too. So I don't think he's solving your issues, you know. But if there's a veteran presence void like there is on the Packers or for Seattle, I think that you could make a good argument. If you're like, okay, as long as the contract is right. Mark, God only made so many big men and Goody knows it. That's it. Brown, they fire. Not the only one to lead the Chargers for the Bills. It seems to be fashion this year. At least I have experience cheering for Joey. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay, so we talked about the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, Russell Wilson's visiting them. If we're talking about Rodgers to the Steelers for the memes, I feel like we have to hope this. I'm not gonna lie, just from a pure entertainment standpoint, just as a selfish content creator, the things that I would be able to do, the jokes that I would be able to make if Russell Wilson found himself on the Cleveland Browns and Aaron Rodgers was on the Steelers, that would be the golden age. That would be the golden age. Doctor, would a Fires Race fan allowed to be happy for the first time since McDumbo was hired? Yes. You can have hope. They're gonna be better this year. If I was a gambling man, I would say the Raiders are definitely going to be better this year. Coaching, and also I think Geno adds a good amount, especially for what you had in the past. Kenneth Gainwell, yep, we just talked about that, who went to the Steelers. The rumors are right now that they are just waiting. What GPU? It's a 3090. I built it a few years ago. In terms of Rodgers, we're just waiting. The rumors are that the Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. So I imagine they're interested, but I don't see anyone besides the Cleveland Browns really talking to Russell Wilson. So I think the Steelers think they have time, and worst case scenario, they go and draft somebody. But yeah, the Steelers might... Hold on, here's a... I know the answer to this, but Steelers fans, true question. I think I know the answer. Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers, and let's just say it's a 2-year deal, right? Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers, or would you rather suck this year? Like don't draft a quarterback this upcoming season, just like build on the talent that you have. You kind of just suck, and then, you go and draft a quarterback in 25. I feel like if I'm a Steelers fan, I'm thinking draft, but I do think that Aaron Rodgers makes your team more successful than it currently is. I just don't think you win a Super Bowl, and I think Steelers fans are like, I want something to change so that we're contending for a Super Bowl. That would be my take. Omega with tenor. Well, you're more afraid to leave open. Aguilar or D-Hop. Not to mention, he can mentor the Ravens' young wide receivers. It's a high ceiling and high reward and low risk grab. Also, fake pick retired. He did. Legend. Absolute legend. But yeah, you're not wrong. Not wrong. 9, appreciate you. Pepper! Mostly love and healing and thoughts. Keep Rodgers away from my Steelers. Fair. Very, very fair. I just want to read these. Yeah. Suck. I would assume that was going to be suck. I would assume. Matt would fire. Brown should run the Navy triple option offense. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. Yeah, I think they'd rather suck. And I get that, because you just want to see something different. And like this, I think you get excited about DK because he's going to be there for a little bit. So he's going to be there to hopefully whoever your next long-term option at QB, like, is going to be there. Glendon, if I'm a Steelers fan, Rodgers Viking has red flags. Oh, he's got all the red flags. All of them. All of them. Texans. We talked about the Texans a bunch yesterday and talking about like these short, like 1-year deals that they're making. I think this is kind of what their mode of apparatus has been for a while. I think if you're a Texans fan, the concern that you're having right now is your offensive line. Now, I already said this, but Kenyon Green, I think the irony is like Philadelphia could potentially make him good, and I think that is going to be infuriating. But with Houston, it was not working out. So I don't think that there's a huge loss there, and getting CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to bolster an already good defense. right? So I think that is going to be an immediate, oh, you're going to see the difference in this. And even if your offensive line, let's just say they don't address it, they're going to. But let's just say they don't address it, the defense is going to pick up some of the slack while maybe you're drafting some guys who are developing. So my concern, though, is that with Laramie Tunsil, and even though he committed some penalties, and we talk about, I know, the locker room stuff and all that great stuff, but at the end of the day, like, he could block, right? And it's tough to find those guys who could be staples there. Now, if they're able to draft well, then I think this Texans offseason is going to be pretty darn good, because I think they already have a competitive team, especially with that defense and that pass rush. It's going to be about making up for the inefficiencies from this past year's offense, right? So you get rid of your offensive coordinator. I think that's already going to improve that leaps and bounds, hopefully. The offensive line, you definitely take a step back, and that was already a position of need. So you're going to have to hit that really, really hard within the draft. But then you need to worry about wide receivers, right? So Tank Dell likely not going to play next season. I understand going to get Christian Kirk, and there was a lot of Texans fans that were kind of like intrigued about this. I think that is a very low risk signing. Why not? I think that's a pretty darn good acquisition, but offensive line and wide receiver are going to be something that are gonna have to get addressed. And I still think they're gonna be competitive. Perna made a good point this morning when he said that if the Eagles are able to rehabilitate Kenyon Green, then the way that this is going to look years down the road might not be too great, because the Eagles are basically trading for Kenyon Green because of his potential, because they already have a pretty damn good offensive line. And if they're able to get somebody in there that has, hey, this is worth trading away CJ Gardner-Johnson, which I think their secondary is still going to be good, I think it's a good move both for the Eagles as just a, let's take a risk on getting this guy, and it's a good one for the Texans. But like I said, they're definitely going to have to look at wide receiver and offensive line, because I know that's very obvious, but yeah, they need to figure that out. Jordan with Tanner, top, first time super chat. Hey, I appreciate you. I look forward to, oh, no, hold on 1 second. I'll look up there. Watching it every night when I come home from work or school. I'm a Hawks fan. I'm curious to think of Darnold. Also, the Packers caught the Hail Mary. Jordan, your first super chat as a Seahawks fan is to finally admit that the Packers caught the Hail Mary. I felt healed a little bit. It's bit by bit. I just I feel like I got a little bit healthier. My mental health has improved because of that. I agree. Getting Sam Darnold, I think you're getting Geno Smith for the price that you wanted Geno Smith. You're still going to have the same problems with the offensive line. You have to address that regardless. Geno Smith, I think, knew that system and knew the inefficiencies of that offensive line and was able to overcome them better than I think a lot of other QBs. Like, I still think that Geno Smith is a better fit on Seattle than Sam Darnold is currently. However, if the Seahawks are looking at this of like, hey, we're kind of reconfiguring our roster right now, let's go and get a guy that we're at least going to be competitive as long as we address the interior offensive line. And as long as we go and get better offensive linemen, then we're going to be in good shape, because I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be the long-term solution in Seattle, but whoever is going to be is going to hopefully be able to benefit behind an offensive line. So you got to just hope that there's a plan there. I'm just not really moved by, like, the Raiders benefit, like, because Geno Smith is making that team better, because the Raiders didn't have a ton of options there. Sorry, Gardner Minshew. But yeah, the Seahawks, they're going to be like rebuilding. It's just going to be how competitive are they going to be this season. And I hate to say it doesn't matter, but if you're looking at your franchise in terms of, we're not going to win a Super Bowl this season, like, we're looking a little bit past that and looking in terms of multiple years down the line. Look at all the teams right now, even in talking about the NFC North, look at all the teams right now that are building the trenches, right? That are setting up like that supporting cast for when they have a guy or they're trying to draft that guy, they're going to be put in a better position. Look at all the talk. I feel like offensive line talk and even just general discussion about strong offensive lines has like significantly amplified in the last like 5 years. Like it is a common talking point of like you need to have a good offensive line. Like I think like this is something that is just spread to almost every fan of football of like, yeah, you need to be good within the trenches because the best teams, that's usually how they win. So again, for the Seattle Seahawks, I feel like if you're able to build that up, it's not going to matter what Sam Darnold does this year. It's going to matter like what he's going to look like potentially the year after with a better offensive line or, you know, the future guy. But yeah. Gwendolyn Tour. Red flag is JJ. Let's see. Oh, it's with a fire. Kind of surprising that Diggs is still available. I'm not super surprised because he's coming off an injury. The Bills did trade him. And I don't think that there's a mad rush, especially because of the injury, but I think he's going to be available even, I don't want to say maybe after the draft, but maybe. I just don't think that he's a huge priority because of that injury. H Tour, suck picks 1 through 3, suck with Rodgers picks 3 through 10. I don't think Rodgers. Oh. You think they finish in the bottom 10 still with Rodgers? I feel like they could be a little bit better than that. I could be wrong, but I think they'd be like kind of middle of the road. I think so. Now, but they tour. Should the Eagles play in the season opener? What's their opponents? Let's see. Chiefs open at the Super Bowl. Let me see. Lions would be fun. Lions would be so much fun. I would love if the Eagles opened against the Lions. That'd be dope. So, yeah, that'd be my pick. We get to see the NFC Championship game that we thought we were going to see. So, why not? Bottom 16 with Rodgers. Yeah, I can see that. It depends. I'm curious what that team would look like. Richard Tour, I just look at my Colts and go, Matt, I'm scared. The Colts have to figure out things. You know, they're bolstering their secondary, which I think is good. I really feel for Colts fans because like they have been on this QB carousel for such a long time and it just keeps going around and around and around. And it's veteran after veteran after, and it's like, oh, there's potential, and oh, okay. And then it's like, all right. And ever since Andrew Luck was gone, I mean, it has not been good. And the fact that they had Andrew Luck is legitimately heartbreaking. To go get Anthony Richardson, where I think a lot of Colts fans were excited, but also very, ooh, I don't know. But yeah, kind of have to buy in and be like, okay, like let's go Anthony Richardson. And after or before this past season, you had the cautious optimism of going like, okay, well, he was injured, so we didn't really get to see him a ton. And then this year, this past season, I should say, it did not go great, right? And there was a lot of things that didn't go great, whether it was outside media, whether it was play. There was just things that weren't great. And I think that all of this has created a very unfortunate situation for Colts fans who now have to go, okay, now we're signing Daniel Jones. Yes, it's a 1-year deal. The entire media is talking about how he's going to be competing for a starting job and all this. And you have a young QB who was thrown into the fire, who is athletically gifted 1,000,000%, but like you worry about that development. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't hate this. Because if Anthony Richardson can develop, and I know it's a really big if, it'll be worth this pain. But if not, then it's just another year of going, okay, and just not knowing what's going on. So I like what they're doing on defense. Their DC needed to go. And so now, you know, I think they're just trying to figure it out. And I just don't know if they're going to. HB with fire. I really don't want the Vikings to sign Rodgers. If it does end up a Viking, please do the skull chant as Don Rodgers. The comedy will be there. I know what they fire. Bills do not want DK because they have Coleman. Yeah, that's fair. Abby went to the Steelers. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to give that the draft capital up either, though. I didn't think so. Ryan Fire, I've always thought Packers caught the Fail Mary, go Hawks. There's healing tonight in this chat. There's healing. For positive, Moosey is doing well. Solid poops. No more butt river. Good God. Because that was the new thing that happened. But yeah, so I don't know if I told the full thing, and I know that's not football, so apologies. Yeah, so he got better, and then he started throwing up again, and he wasn't digesting anything, and I was like, okay, and he wasn't holding any food down. So then what wound up happening was I had to take him to my primary vet, and that was, what's today? Wednesday? That was Monday? I think that was Monday, right? Maybe even Tuesday. I honestly do not know at this point. I think it was Tuesday. I think it was yesterday. But it was Tuesday. So Monday night, because I gave him a tiny bit of food and was like, okay, let's see if he throws this up. And he threw it up, unfortunately. So Tuesday, I rushed him to the vet again and was like, okay, what are we doing? And this is my primary, who I didn't see because the others were ER visits. So brought him in, and they took an x-ray of him, which when it beeped, he was not a very happy puppy, but he was then very good. And the food was just sitting in his stomach, even though like he just wasn't digesting stuff, and there was no blockage, right? Trust me, there was no blockage. He was going to the bathroom. So what wound up happening was they took x-rays and they're like, okay, we're going to give this prescription for food. So like, it's just like calming food, good digestive, whatever, that I'm putting him on an anti-nausea and also this other pill that I have to put in water and break up. It's pink, and I have to literally like suck it up with a syringe and like give it to him in the mouth, and he's not happy about that, but that like coats his stomach. And so yesterday was the first day on medicine, and this morning like he had solid bowel movements, which this is the first time in 3 days that's happened. He hasn't thrown anything up. His appetite is back in like full force. He's eating the prescription food and is like, can I have more? I'm like, not right this second, because we're building him back up. So yes, he's getting better. It's great. I thought he was getting better before and he didn't. And I was like, ugh. But I think with the medicine this time, that's making a big difference. So good. It's good vibes. Stressful, more gray hairs, but it's good vibes. Now we can go back to our regularly scheduled programming about football. But yeah, Colts fans, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Mason Turret time. It's time to admit Dez caught that football. Today, in 2025, he caught that football. Back then, 2015, by the rules, he did not. Just being consistent. It's true. Today, absolutely catches that ball. Back then, it was different. It was different. Also, the Packers still would have won, and no, I will not prove my point. Ryan with the tour. The Hitman is back for year 14. I saw that. Great. Great. Purple Incarnation of Satan gets one of their favorite demons. Red Rhino, I'm questioning what my Titans are doing so far. Overpaying for offensive linemen, but what other choice do you have? You know? Like, that's the concern of just like, who the hell is your quarterback going to be? But you need to build that O-line up. And what's your thoughts on Eagles signing A.J. Dillon? He'll help in the tush push probably. He showed up super lean to camp last year before his neck injury. Before that, you know, a lot of promise, but just didn't kind of measure up to what we drafted him for in the second round. So we were bringing him back on like some weird 1-year deal. But yeah, I mean, behind an offensive line that's different and different scheme, like behind Saquon, maybe things can change. So Zim with a tour cup to Green Bay. I just answered this before. He's a stopgap. I think you get him for a veteran presence. If anything, that contract has to be super low, but his production is just not, oh man, our wide receiver room is fixed, you know? And I don't think it gets remarkably better either. Yeah. And it's just age and injuries, man. Like that's what last year was not the best of Cooper Kupp. So, Gwendolyn, they tour. Check Chiefs free agents so far. Don't know. Yeah, we'll scroll down. We're still going down. So we're just slowly making it there. We're vibing. I'm cool. We're chilling. I know I didn't put out a skit because been dealing with puppers and stuff. So yeah, I wanted to at least be able to stream. For Positive Fire, was Adams' contract better than Kupp? Feels like a lateral move now that we is released instead of traded. I disagree. For pause. I think Devontae Adams. This isn't just me being a homer. I think Devontae Adams has more in the tank right now than Cooper Kupp. I think you upgraded based off what Cooper Kupp played like last year. I think Devontae Adams, I'm really high on the Rams this free agency period. I think that as long as they address O-line, you could look in getting a linebacker. But yeah, especially in that division. In that division, who's getting better? I like Josh Sweat to the Cardinals. We have to honestly wait and see if the Cardinals are going to take that next step. I think there's potential, but they also have to fill some holes. The Seahawks, we just talked ad nauseum about them. And the 49ers, it's been a tough offseason. So, yeah. I think the Rams are probably the winners of free agency, besides a team like the Bears, who are doing really well. The Vikings are adding some pieces too. And I want to be very, very clear, just super quick. I know I'm doing all this now. This is it. Spending in free agency does not mean that you're winning. I want to be very clear. That is not correct. Just because you are the biggest spender in free agency does not mean you are going to be the best team that following season. There's times where free agents are fantastic. They really add to the team, right? It happened with the Packers last year. But yeah, no, it's not always the case. So your team is not losing if they're not spending a lot. But that being said, Packers, please go get a pass rusher. Please. Just I don't know who at this point. Just steal someone. And hope they don't notice. You have your ways. Just please. Just get me. Chicago isn't winning the offseason. No, they win the offseason championship always. Michael, they tour one Cup and Rodgers to the Vikings. Enjoy. Talk about the Jaguars. They need to figure it out. This is a figure it out year. You gave Trevor Lawrence a bunch of money, $55 million. Offensive line needed to be better. Defense needed to be better. We'll see if Duval works out, but a lot of what ifs for the Jaguars. So I'm not expecting them to do crazy things in free agency because they got to see what their team looks like. I think that's the most important thing right now for Jacksonville. So we'll see. Titans. Yeah, you got to pay. You're going to overpay in free agency, especially for offensive linemen. You see what the guard market is right now? Offensive linemen. It's going to be crazy. Van down by the river, Jefferson, I will always cheer for. I don't know if he's going to be great. You need weapons anyway, but I'll always cheer for him. I don't know if that means anything. I like this signing a lot. I think Cody Barton. Pretty good. Jaw of the Fire. Rodgers goes to the Vikings. Would you give him Minnesota accident scripted? I could do so many things. I would be very excited because of the content opportunities. So, just saying. Canada Tour. Could the 49ers trade away McCaffrey? Depends on what his contract is. Also, I appreciate y'all being here. It feels very nice to just vibe and talk about football in a chill way, especially with lots of chaos going inside and outside of the home. So, I appreciate y'all. Could they? Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what their current cap situation looks like offhand. The value for him would be interesting. But yeah, let's see what you do with your quarterback first. Let's see. Let's see what you got. Soon with a fire. Feels like the place to say you and Perna got me into football. Unfortunately, Dan Campbell made me a Lions fan. Fair and fair. You see? Look at that. I'm converting folks into Lions fans. Great. This Packers fan is so happy. That's why I started the channel, to make more Lions fans. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. H3 to 10. Glad Moosey's doing well. It's no good time for your dog to get sick. True. But I bet it would have been more a nightmare if this happened during your $1 million stream. Yeah. I would have kept the stream going, and I would have taken the phone to the vet if I needed to. But yeah, no, that one I would have had to go to the vet, and we would have live streamed some vet visits. Alex Tour, 49ers fan here, playing Requiem by Mozart repeat. It's a good one. I think it's a good call. The vibe is correct, so can't go wrong there. All right, give me 2 seconds. I want to talk about the Broncos. I need more water. Right back. Where are you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey! Down with a time. Realize just how deep the hole is when you're going now. All we desperately need is a QB. Wait, we just traded our only wide receiver. Okay, now we got that too, and a punter. It's fun. Here, go Titans. Yep. Oh, so much fun. Everybody's having so much fun. Yeah, free agency is also really tough for teams that are struggling and are not doing anything. Because again, doing something is heavily equated to we're winning and we are every guy that we sign, every free agent that we got is going to make our team better. They're all going to work out. That is the beauty of the NFL and the optimism that springs up every single March. But ultimately, I think it's tough to be a bad team and to also see like your team not doing much and you're just like, okay, cool. So this is just gonna hurt double. Scary Tour, Tom, got nothing. Glad Moosey's better. I appreciate you. I am too. Just one less thing to stress about. Zenway Tour, got Tom. I'll go get Micah right now. Of course. Reese with a 5. I wish Chicago would take the Eberflus approach and not spend like crazy. Also early NFC North predictions. Can you ask me after the draft? Right now, throw the Lions on top. Huge question marks at coordinators. We'll see. Bears are, you hope. Vikings, they have a rookie quarterback. I think the Packers are like in a cool second place right now. And they're chilling around there. And I think that's not a crazy thing to say just because at least we have stability at quarterback, which the Vikings just don't have right now. So while their defense, I do think is going to get better, which their defense is already pretty good. It's going to get interesting. It's going to be a fun division. This year is going to be a lot of fun. Oofwood Fire. Rogers has signed his dinner check and is currently leaving the restaurant. Good for him. Greg with a tour. Jet fan, what can you tell me about Josh Myers? He's a starter. He's not fantastic. Did not solve our center issues. So you got him for like, what, $3.5 million for a year? It's pretty good for a starter. He can start. So, go ahead and know what they fire. Resign a player to exclusive tag will be fleece the Bills again. We'll see. We'll see who wins the Super Bowl. We'll see. Zachary fire. The Jags gaining Jordan Lewis, a sneaky pickup by the Jags. One of the best slot corners. How do you see him contributing most? I feel like Jordan Lewis, when I saw the news, I was like, okay, that's interesting. So the way that I feel about the Jaguars defense as a whole right now is not good. Just because the amount of money that like in the investment in the defense and then just the play that you see is not good. Like their defense was, to say disappointing. I'm very down on their defense right now, and it sucks because like I love some players, but in terms of the Jaguars, I think that this provides some stability in your backfield. And I think that is something that's needed when we were just talking about the Jaguars. There's not a lot of that right now. So honestly, like even if he can just be hey, we're going to plug and play you and just hold it down, the Jaguars are going to be like, okay, cool. That's one less thing that we have to worry about right now. That's where I am for the Jaguars, if that makes sense. Okay, if Rodgers goes to the Vikings, we Brett Favre 2.0. How would that feel? Let's play ball. Let's play ball. Let's talk about the Broncos real quick. I love what the Broncos are doing. Passed a physical, I'm assuming, right? 2-year, $23 million deal. He visited with the Chargers. $16.5 million fully guaranteed. So that's a pretty good deal for Evan Ingram. I remember when he went to the Jaguars and he was the savior. And then, injuries are not super fun. But this makes their team better. Like Evan Ingram, even if he's not at his absolute best, makes it better because they needed tight end. I love the Greenlaw signing. I think this could be really, really good. Hufanga, as long as he stays healthy, I love that. And he's already going to be in a really good secondary, but I like what they're doing. The Broncos, they're rocking. Tanker to fire. The Vikings should grab Winston and JJ's backup. It'll be just entertaining to see what Jameis is capable of the roster like that if needed. Just throw into Justin Jefferson. You're going to see, again, the most interceptions and the most touchdowns. Will be great. Damon, appreciate you. Thank you. Michael, what do you think of the Vikings pickup so far? I think that they're doing the right thing in stocking up on their lines. And even if just like one of these guys hit, it makes a defense that's already pretty good better. So, yeah, I think you're, as a Viking, the Vikings are building or attempting to build a supporting team around what they hope is a really good rookie, I'm using quotation marks, in JJ McCarthy. If JJ is good, let me put it this way. JJ has a better chance of succeeding with KOC as his coach and with the roster they've constructed. Like, they're gonna be competitive. As long as that interior is fixed or is better, like, he's gonna have a good shot at succeeding. So, yeah, it sucks as a Packers fan because, you know, Satan. But I think that they're doing pretty well. It's just, we just don't know what JJ looks like, right? And I think you should just be patient and not you in particular, but you should just be patient and be like, hey, we'll figure out if he's the guy. Dan, if they do, I know how I feel about getting Zach Wilson. Hope he doesn't have to start. But if he has to, you're okay, maybe. Jax with a tyrant. The king sits upon his throne and smiles. So Tom Grossi, what player should we steal from you next? Yeah, what the hell, man? Like, for real though. Like, this isn't a bit. this is real life. No joke. Like, the Lions keep on going after guys that I do not think that I have a significant sphere of influence, especially on any front office, on any NFL team. But good God, man, like every time, and they're trading, and that the trade with the Packers, that was a level of, that it felt personal. It did. I don't think it was, but it felt like it. It definitely did. So maybe no draft content this year. Maybe just, nope. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to do all my work. And then on draft, I don't even know if draft night is safe. Maybe he's watching the stream. I'm just going to watch the draft alone. Just watch it alone in a room. That's it. To go with AFR, Vikings re-sign Harrison Smith, which is GM could teach the Seahawks front office about loyalty. Stay mad about Lockett being released. Get him. Also, fire Greens, Tom. What do you think of the Panthers move so far? Loving what we are doing. Yeah, I think the defense needed to be a priority. Building on the offensive line. You're shoring up your secondary. You know, you're investing big money in your secondary. You're making the moves of a team that has cap space, and you're like looking to see what you have. With Bryce Young, that's what's going to really determine how good your team's going to be. But while you wait to see if he's the guy, you got to make your team better. So I think that's what they're attempting to do. Anyway, they're watching NXT Roadblock right now. Enjoy. Was that yesterday when that was on? I think. I don't know. I have not watched things in a hot second. Chiefs. Let's talk about them super duper quick. We'll get to XS. Hold on one second. Elijah Mitchell. All right. Yeah. Hollywood Brown. Makes sense. Trey Smith. You had to keep him. Like, there's no choice there. I like the Nick Bolton resigning. He's a phenomenal part of your defense. Give him all the money. Fulton, I think he's going to be fine. Spags is staying, right? So I think he should do well in this system. So I don't think that this is, I think this is going to be a good part of their secondary. Now, them losing Justin Reed is not the best, even if it was slightly anticipated. Still not the best. So, oh, of course, Big Bob Tunyon. Roberto Grande. It's X with 820. Driving back from Ohio to Missouri after losing my mother. Thank you for being my ride. Asking for the driver. R.I.P. Dory. I wish you would have gotten to see the Lions win the big one. I'm so sorry, my friend. That is brutal, my friend. First of all, drive safely. I'm very sorry for your loss, and we're gonna keep on rocking. R.I.P. Dory. We're gonna keep on rocking. And I know that Dory at least got to see the Lions steal all of my picks. So if the big one was, I don't know, any draft crushes I've had the past 4 years, at least the Lions have that. At least they can just punch me in the gut every single year. And so while hope springs eternal, unfortunately I have to remember that the Lions are watching me and live in my walls. Jonathan 5 how the Eagles signing A.J. Dillon. I don't think is going to make the biggest difference, but curious to see behind that offensive line. Again, he showed up super trim for camp before his injury. So, David Thayer, have you announced your Green Bay draft party? No, should be figuring out or getting closer to finalizing what that looks. I'm having a meeting next week. So, again, as soon as I know, the NFL said that they would send me, the NFL YouTube folks who send me to the combine, because this is instead of me going to the combine, said that they could get me, I think I can talk to a couple of prospects. And I think I get to go in to the theater one night. So that's not related to this, because I want to find a place to stream, which I just need to figure out in what capacity I'm going to be at the draft. I'm going to be there all week, but I need to figure that out because that is one of my biggest streams of the year. I love streaming the draft. So I want to make sure I can do that in Green Bay. But yeah, I'm going to be there all week, and there's definitely going to be things where there will be fan things and all that great. My perfect world is that you go into for free at some bar and, we're streaming it. So we'll see what happens. I just don't know yet until next week. Yeah, what they tour. Wait, aren't you going to Green Bay for the draft? Yes. I also, yes. So we're good there. My announcing a pick, that's not up to me. I've reached out to the people I needed to reach out to. I said, hey, I'm Tom Grossi. I'm interested in announcing a day 3 pick. And they said, a lot of people are. We'll let you know. And I said, appreciate it. And that was the conversation. So we just wait. No pressure, no nothing. But we asked. We put in the ask. We'll see what happens. Raiders. We're stealing all your players. Thank you for your service. I hope he does well. I hope he does. I really Eric Stokes, man. Oh, as a rookie, I bought his jersey sign. I was so excited for Eric Stokes, man. So I really hope he does well with you, Vegas. Jeremy Chin, I like that signing. Pretty good. I mean, honestly, the biggest signings that you have, obviously, is going to be Max Crosby. Bringing back Butler is pretty good, too. So, and then Gino's already going to elevate the team. I mean, we talked about him already, but yeah. So, Gino is going to elevate that team just because it's a significant upgrade from what they had. So, I don't think... Yeah, I don't see a world unless there's an injury where you guys are not having a better record than you did last year. So that's where I'd be. Chargers, we talked about Najee Harris before. If you're able to use him as a combo, somebody said that yesterday, and that was a great point. If you're able to use him as a combo, I like it. He is running behind a better offensive line, so I have some faith in that too. So we'll see. No comment. Bringing back Khalil. That's always fun too. Yeah, we'll see. The Chargers, they just need to they need to go get wide receivers. They need to get some more weapons. So Gwendolyn Thatcher, Chiefs slapped exclusive tag to a Bills punter. Eat him. Yeah. J.K. Scott, Packers legend. Oh, he's doing well. Cowboys. Cowboys. I think some of the re-signings that the Cowboys have done are good, right? Good. Very good. I remember Kenneth Murray coming out of the draft. I was pretty high on Kenneth Murray. I'm not surprised that Jerry Jones is not going out and grabbing a ton of guys because he flat out said that they weren't going to fill holes in free agency. So, like, it's not again, spending is not necessarily equating to winning and succeeding. But again, they screwed themselves when they said all in. Like, the all in thing has just been meme to death. And at the end of the day, like, a lot of it is internet chatter, but that is also where a lot of fandom is now. So it's going to just put a lot of like external pressure on the Cowboys, and the media loves talking about the Cowboys anyway. But yeah, I think they're just going to wind up re-signing Parsons at some point, and then they're just tied to a few guys and they just have to try and make it work. So they're just going to have to crush the draft. Unified 49ers fan, this many guys leaves Perney's getting paid, surely. I would assume so. I definitely would assume so. It's just how much is he going to cost? Slayton, solid. Don DeVito will be back for another year. So that's what's really important there. We were talking about this before. I talked about Adebo a bunch of times. He's linked to the Packers. A lot of Packers fans wanted to go grab him. But I think that's a good signing. It's solid. So they just got to build up their secondary once again. Holland, they're paying more guaranteed money than the Packers paid for Xavier McKinney last year, but they're trying to make that secondary great. I know they drafted a safety. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. I think I literally talked to him last year. Oh, sorry. Giant safety. They literally drafted him last year. 2024. It's going to bother me. Tyler Nubin. There we go. Yeah, Nubin. Thank you. Sorry, I was totally just blanking on his name. Yeah, you just gotta hope he gets better too. But I think you're making your secondary better, or at least taking some swings, and yeah, just go back to building that defense. Keon Fire, someone who wants to keep Jair. Do you think no news is good news in terms of him remaining with the team, or do you think he's gone? I think no news is no news. From what I have heard, and take this with the biggest grain of salt ever, but from what I've heard, the Packers, right, like, I don't think they've even reached out. So that was the last thing that I saw, that, like, the Packers haven't reached out, and I think it might have been Domofsky who said that not even saying Jair would come to the table. I don't think the Packers have said anything. Like, they haven't reached out to Jair. So I think we're kind of just waiting this one out. I would assume he's gone. That's my assumption, that he's going to be gone. So we'll see. They don't have a ton of leverage, but I know there's some teams that want him. Looking at you, Baltimore. Blakewood Fires, 49er fan. Honestly, not worried about the team's future. Yeah. Brock Purdy, we'll see how much he gets paid, and we'll see if he is able to play on a team that, might just have to go through a little bit of a reshuffling. So, Eagles, they traded away Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett. Obviously, their biggest problem all free agency. That was the worst loss that they had. This is a true story. The Eagles when they did not have Kenny Pickett, guess what? Did not win a Super Bowl last time they played the Chiefs. This time, had Kenny Pickett, won a Super Bowl. The facts are there. They're staring you in the face. Kenny Pickett was obviously the only reason why the Philadelphia Eagles were any good. Anyway, yeah, they re-signed Saquon and Zach Bond. Like, that's the most important thing. It sucks that you're losing guys. Milton Williams, he'll be good. Josh Sweat's gonna be good, but I think there's enough depth, and you still have the draft. I think that the Eagles are gonna be fine. They're still gonna be a competitive team. AJ Dillon, again, like, this is hey, let's see what you have and behind this offensive line. So, if anything, it's depth. Commanders, Comment with a fire. Is Jair a free agent, or would he have to be a cap casualty due to his contract? Ravens give you a 3rd and maybe 5th round swap for Jair. Yes or no? No. So I said that the Baltimore Ravens could have Jair Alexander for their 3 first-round picks, I think is where I would start, and then some money on top of that. So right now, he has 2 more years left on his contract. So that is expiring in 27. He would be an unrestricted free agent. So the cap hit right now would be $24.9 million. His cap hit last year was $23.9. I think it's just a matter of this is where things look like they're going. So again, it would have to be a trade, obviously. But I don't know if they're going to outright release him. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think that's why they also don't have a ton of because it just doesn't seem like that relationship is, from what I've heard, is going well. All right, Commanders. We talked about this. Mariota coming back. McNichols. Here, I mean, I've talked about this for a bit. Watched Deebo Samuel last year. He was not good. There's a bunch of things that weren't great. Maybe a change of scenery changes things. A 5th round pick is not a ton. But you take a shot and see if he can get back, because this is what free agency is for. At the end of the day, if you lose the money, you lose the money. And I know that sounds like a very irresponsible fiscal thing, but again, free agency is not where you're like, oh man, let's take my really, really struggling team and send to. It's where you get guys that you hope are going to be able to fill those patches in. But you're going to be overpaying for all these guys. And I feel like with Deebo, you're just bringing him in and saying, all right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. So 3 firsts for Alexander. You're right. It should be 4. No, honestly, I think it would be a 3rd round pick. Yeah, it'd be a 3rd. That's probably what, if we get a 2nd, it'd be amazing. But I think you get a 3rd. Yeah, I feel like that value is pretty solid. This, again, talking to the Texans, or Texans fans, I should say, there's things that are going to be problematic, with some penalties and stuff, but he's going to block his ass off. So that's good. It's going to provide some stability there. And if right now you see a window, this is where you go. Elijah, appreciate you. Go Pack, go. S-Box Fire. Plot twist. Eagles making room on the books so they can sign Micah Parsons. Not because they need him, because the memes would be amazing. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Kinlaw, this seemed like an overpay to me. I mean, again, it's free agency and everything's an overpay. But this one, I know Jonathan Allen you got rid of because of the contract. I don't know about this one. This one, and I could 1,000,000% be proven wrong. I do like this re-signing a lot. But, yeah, this one, I wasn't the highest on. Oh, great. Let's talk about the Bears. Let's talk about the Bears. Rodgers is pondering. He's pondering at the moment. That's what we're waiting on. Talk about the Bears. We've talked about them the last couple of days. They're building in the trenches. Makes sense. Ben Johnson's coming over. That's how you're gonna win football games. I think that there's some inherent risk that some of these guys maybe are not fantastic, but I think that they're going to hit on at least a couple of these. This one is the one I'm most concerned about as a Packers fan, because it is a young ascending player. This one, I'm okay, this is shoring up your offensive line. I think getting through is going to be good. But, yeah. Grady Jarrett's going to be fun, if anything. He's going to be fun. I think he's going to... I'm curious to see how he's going to play. But... yeah, they're taking some big swings. They have the money to do so. So, why not? I think if Caleb Williams is rocking, yeah, Bears are going to be competitive. They'll be there. Jasper to fire. Seahawks signed MVS. Schneider, where's the O-line, especially interior? Darnell K9 and Charbonnet are going to die in the backfield. Jasper, who are you going to go get? What offensive lineman would you have liked to overpaid for in free agency? That's not where the Seahawks are going. They got to draft, and they got to nail those draft picks. You got to draft and develop those offensive linemen, because, again, you need them there for whoever your next QB is going to be. So, need it. skipped over Tunsil. I literally talked about Tunsil. I also talked about Tunsil a ton yesterday. Tunsil is he's second best in pressure rate. Like, he's gonna make him better. You have consistency. You have a starting left tackle that now you can be rely on. Yeah, he's gonna probably commit some penalties, but dude, you have him for at least a few more years. You're rocking. Why not? Gwendolyn with a 20. If you don't know, it was Bill's 22 draft pick, cut preseason week 3. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, they brought him back because he was cleared on stuff. So, yep, he's been with the Chiefs now. Oh, Mike Williams is back to the Chargers. Oh, hey. Hold on. Did he? Let's see. I got Kyle Trask. Where's Mike Williams? Hold on, let's see. Is that Schefter? No. Schultz. Gotcha. I just didn't see anything. If he comes back, that's dope. There you go. Bring him back. Where's Keenan? Birthday tour. So stoked as a Broncos fan, like B-Day never ends. That's it. Ron with a 5. Thanks for the analysis. I feel like I finally have useful info about free agency, the draft, and team needs. Also glad Pern is happy. Yeah. And again, like, this is also... This is just one, my opinion. But two, it's also... There's a lot of optimism, when it comes to free agency. Everybody hopes as a fan that your free agent is going to work out, right? And the truth is, like, a bunch of these guys are not, right? There's also some reasons why these guys are now free agents. But there are also times where, like, it'll make your team better. Like, for example, if you're the Giants and you're like, hey, yeah, let's let Saquon Barkley walk. What's the worst that can happen? Oh. So, it goes both ways. Astro to Fire. Thanks for the content, Tom. Learning so much about the process of acquiring players. Give Moosey a feel better, good boy for me. Moosey is passed out on the couch right now. He is thoroughly enjoying himself. He's feeling good. Jester, we have the money to overpay an offensive lineman. Yeah, like, which one? That's what I'm saying. Like, which one would you have liked to have overpaid for? So, yeah, exactly, Matt. It's just, you just repeat it over and over. Like, free agency is when you're gonna overpay. Free agency can be seen as a punishment because you didn't draft well. Benjamin Fire. Fun fact: Trask is the first QB drafted by the Bucks to get a second contract. Explain a lot about our history, don't it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. James Wood Sir Thomas of the Grossi clan. Like a serious non-meme answer to this exceptional inquiry. If some of the Bears signings doesn't pan out, are Poles and Johnson smart enough to adjust? I think there's just more pressure on Poles than anything. Ben Johnson, I feel like, is going to get a solid 2 seasons of leeway unless it's catastrophic from Bears fans. Poles, I feel like, is already was significantly on the hot seat. Just everything that occurred. And then getting Ben Johnson, I think that bought a lot of goodwill with some fans of like, okay, at least they're doing this. They're having a very active free agency. So I think they're going about it. And the guys that they're targeting in free agency is not a super like, hey, let's go get a superstar. Let's go get like this huge name. Like, instead they're building in the trenches, and that's what you want to do as a good football team. So yeah, there's probably gonna be a few of these guys. Like, let's just say, I'm just throwing out a name. Let's just say like Grady Jarrett doesn't like play for that long, right? Let's just get like 2 years or something like that. And it's like, it's pretty good play. If you have your young pass rusher that you just brought in, like, you're looking good. So I think so. I just don't know how Ben Johnson is as a coach right now. So I think that's what we're all just waiting for. The signs look good, but we just don't know. So that'll be part of the question marks at this point. So Lions got back Derek Barnes. I really like this one. I like it also because I wanted DJ Reed, so there's 100% bias in there. But I think this and not overpaying for Carlton Davis was the right move if I'm the Detroit Lions. So, yeah. Zim, appreciate you. Thank you, and thank you. Everyone, I read the Steelers tried to get Darnold, but he didn't want to play under Arthur Smith. I don't blame him. Also, get moved. See many pets for us. Glad the pupper's doing better. I think we're on the mend. He's also hungry, which is fantastic that his appetite is actually back. And yeah, I get it. I think we're also still evaluating Arthur Smith at this point. So, Logan Fire, thank you the Broncos moves. Love your stream and make me laugh smile. I appreciate you, Logan. In terms of the Broncos, I've talked to them before. I like what they're doing. I really like the Greenlaw pickup. Losing Cody Barton's not ideal, but Evan Ingram is going to make that team better because now you have a tight end who can at least catch. And is like, and I don't mean that as like shade to anybody else, but more of just, okay, he's a proven pass catcher. And even if he's not playing at his absolute best and, you know, obviously some injury stuff, but yeah, it's going to make the offense a little bit better and it's more of a weapon for Bo Nix. So, and then the defense, it's already a damn good defense. So now it's getting better. The Green Bay Packers. All right. So we'll see what happens with Jair Alexander. The Packers, I really wanted them to address edge and corner. Wide receiver would have been nice, but edge and corner were the most important, in my opinion. Richie, I appreciate you. They went and got some depth on the offensive line. I put that as like my fourth biggest need heading into the draft. But the fact that they lost Josh Myers, you're going to likely move Elton Jenkins over to center. I think that this provides flexibility, and the way that Matt LaFleur runs his offenses is usually just like, well, except in certain playoff games, the best offensive linemen are going to play, and they like those versatile guys. I mean, hell, look at Elton Jenkins, who's moved all around that line. Like, they love those kinds of guys. But that's why I wanted Graham Martin so bad. But I think this provides some stability. So, yeah, the contract, it's an interesting contract. And it could, if this doesn't pan out, it's not going to be ideal. But I can see why they're taking a swing for it because, I mean, look at what the rest of the division is doing in building the trenches. They need to do the same. So, as they're trying to figure out this configuration, they already got, Morgan from last year. They got to figure out where he's going to go. I'm really curious to see what camp is going to look like. I think camp is going to be really fun, and let's just see who's going to be competing for what spot at offensive line. And I still think they're probably going to go after a guy in the draft, probably. If it's not the end of day 2, I think day 3. Richard, you're sorry late. Wish you Moosey well. Appreciate you. Thank you. Can I have Barton? Please? 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 Yeah, Finn, and again, there's guys I would have liked, but pass rushers now, all the guys I wanted, they're not there. I don't think they're going to get Trey Hendrickson. I could be dead wrong. I just think that it's just the draft capital component, and he's a little bit older, and they're going to have to pay him a good amount of money. It's just usually not the Packers' way. That's why when they got Xavier McKinney, I mean, the big splash, of course, was years ago when they got the Smith Bros and they got Billy Turner and Adrian Amos. But yeah, no, I mean, getting Xavier McKinney was, dude, I was so happy because I was like, that is a premium player that we're going to have for a while. And good God, so good. Justified. DeMarcus Lawrence, 3-year, $42 million, $18 million guaranteed. I like that guaranteed. But yeah, Hobbs has upside. Contract is very friendly. I like the contract a lot. I still think you have a need here, especially if you move Jair. So I wouldn't be surprised they're still going after a guy in the draft. So we'll see. Vikings. We talked about them yesterday. This makes all the sense in the world, because he was great with them last year. He's going to be at least good. And yeah, Aaron Jones is a good football player. So Will Fries makes a lot of sense because, again, I think he's not only solid, I think that this is their position of need, right? So them taking a swing and paying a lot of money for a guard, which the guard market is crazy, as also illustrated by the $77 million the Packers just paid out. It's They're trying to solve their problems. And I, again, would not be surprised if they target another interior offensive lineman within the draft as well. They're building up the defense. Byron Murphy, re-signing. Curious. I think you're at least getting a good player here. You know, the Commanders got rid of him. The contract was just a little bit too much. But you're building up on that in the trenches, just like everybody else in the North is doing. It makes a lot of sense. And as I said before, you're building a support team around what is basically a rookie quarterback. And regardless of how good, like, he is when he first steps into the NFL, he has a better chance at succeeding if he's on a better team. And, you know, he's got some weapons and he's going to have a pretty good defense. So, Johnny, Carrington Valentine, CB1, we're set. Done. We don't need anyone locked down going to the Super Bowl. That's it. So, yeah, no, the Vikings are taking some swings. They are taking some swings. Satan. But we'll see. We'll see. This is just the NFL website. They just got a tracker, so it's super convenient to kind of just go through and look. Gwendolyn Terry never sent funny super chat on his challenge. Innocent until proven guilty. Proven guilty or innocent. What? I have no idea. Falcons, NFC South. Leonard Floyd. Coming home. Divine Diablo, the greatest name in the game. Falcons are, they're a wait-and-see team, too. Is Penix the guy? They have a great run game. They need to go get some more pass rushers. I want all the pass rushers. Like, Leonard Floyd's a stopgap. So, they have to actually spend some draft capital on a guy, and they need to hit. And then it's the season where you figure out if Penix is going to be your guy going forward. So, I'm not surprised. They're eating a big chunk of Kirk Cousins' contract. So, yeah, no real surprise that they're not going to be doing a ton, except, of course, a 4-year extension for their long snapper. So, but, yeah, rocking. Hey, Jackson, appreciate you watching. Thank you. Get with a fire. Can't even lie. Down to the Panthers still got me shook. Mostly because, wow, the Cowboys didn't pay him. Do they have any RBs now? Yeah, they got Javonte Williams from the Broncos, but I think everybody was anticipating they were going to go and grab a running back in the draft. So I think they're going to still do that. You know, whether they're going to take a big swing or not, we'll see. Mike Williams, yeah, deal worth up to $6 million. Up to $6 million. That's pretty good. Pretty darn good. All right, Panthers. What do we got? Panthers, yeah, we got Donald. Keep pounding. Andy Dalton coming back makes all the sense in the entire world. Building on your offensive line, I don't think you can go wrong there. Again, I think they're going to have to potentially draft still and develop still. But the big thing that they're doing is shoring up on the defense. I talked to them before. Their secondary is getting a lot of investment, whether you're bringing in big-time safeties, whether you're repaying guys. So I think that the Panthers are taking swings as a team that, I mentioned this before, you're going to figure out what's going on with Bryce Young. And if he is that guy, then it gets even more exciting. But the rest of the team's got to get better too. It's not just, hey, we need the quarterback to get better, and they're going to magically save our team. So I like that they're taking some shots and trying to, because who knows, maybe they'll surprise some people. They were competitive. Saints, hey. There's your big fish. There's your big fish. Got Justin Reed. So, 3-year, $31.5 million. I like this a lot. Me, personally, I'm not the biggest fan. I hope he does well for you guys. So, he puts up some good numbers. It's just, yeah, oh man, I thought I really, really wanted Chase Young to be like insane. So we'll see. That's they're trying. And you bring back Juwan Johnson too, which makes sense for whoever the hell your QB is going to be within the next 3 years of that deal. So we'll see. We'll see. It's what it's like to spend some money though for the Saints. Always nice. Buccaneers. Makes me the happiest person ever because I need Chris Godwin and Mike Evans to ride off into the sunset together. Because yeah, I'm just, especially after the injury and to still give him, you know, this money, like in $44 million guaranteed. I'm super happy that Chris Godwin is going to like finish his career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm super duper happy about that. Anyway, besides that, Levante David coming back, legend. Hassan Reddick, take a shot, 1-year deal. Why not? And then, yeah, I feel like for the Bucks, they were competitive last year. Let's see what we got. Bringing the gang back together and see how far they go. So I think they're going to be favored to win that division. Yeah, I think the Falcons, we'll see. They had a shot and they just... So that one did not work out. But I think the Buccaneers have a good shot. I just hope Godwin comes back healthy. But we'll see. All right. Let's do it. All right, NFC West. Where are you? There you are. Boom. So, 4 years, $76.4 million. So, Sweat gets paid. Milton Williams gets paid. Both earned. And I think this is a great move for the Cardinals. Again, you're going to be overpaying for folks in free agency, but Sweat has been good. And I think your pass rush needed to get better. Targeting edge. But I think the Cardinals are just in a weird spot. Like, you have your Kyler Murray supporters and your Kyler Murray. I think you need to still get more weapons for Kyler Murray. You got to hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. Really does well this upcoming season. But yeah, get better on defense. I don't hate that. Definitely do not hate that at all. Jeremiah Jones get traded or cut? What? Who? I don't know who. I don't know what you mean. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, is this just spam? Okay. Please hold. Your call is very important to us. Got it. All right. Back to your regularly scheduled program. So yeah, Cardinals, figure it out. We'll see what their offense is going to look like this year. Get more weapons. Give me more weapons. I like Josh Sweat there. Diop to the Ravens. It's not going to hurt your team. Cheap deal. Why not? Rams, probably the team that I'm the highest on right this second about free agency. I think that Devontae Adams, I think, is going to make... I think he's going to be pretty damn good. Oh, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams. The fact that they're bringing the band back together, I think how close they got last year and how good they were, despite having some flaws like their offensive line, they have to address that in the draft. I know they brought Jackson back, but they have to address it in the draft. And I think that they could be good in their division. And they're rocking right now. In the state of their division, they should be the clear favorites as of right this second to win the NFC West. Richard Fire, early thoughts on the Bills considering what Bean has done. And we still have a draft. I'm optimistic to get over this hump to Super Bowl, but thoughts. Ask me after the draft. Yeah, the Bills, I'm not even looking at them yet until I see what they draft, because they have some holes that if they're going to try and get over that hump, like they need to go still get another edge guy. Like they need to really hit a home run there, and that's going to be tough. The good news is your D-line is stacked for this draft. So that's really, really good news. So if you're able to get pressure, you're rocking. But we'll also see where your wide receivers are. I think that with Josh Allen, you'll be fine either way. But if you could go get a guy, that would be nice. So 49ers, it's just been a tough free agency. It is. You're losing everybody. Longtime players too. Fan favorites. This is just it for the 49ers. It's kind of like, all right, what's Brock Purdy's contract going to look like right now? And from there, how long is this going to take to rebuild to be back to, competing for Super Bowls? So I think this is going to be kind of a rebuild-ish year. And it's just, if they nail the draft, things will look good. But right now, it kind of, it hurts at the moment. So, we'll see. Seahawks, we talked about you a gajillion times, but this is Sam Darnold. This is Geno Smith for the price that you wanted him. go invest in your offensive line. That's what I want to see from them. Getting MVS, stopgap, sure. Field stretcher, cool. You have JSN, that's your long-term solution there. But you're going to have to go and get more wide receivers and all that. But I'm not looking at them to be... I don't think they're going to win 10 games. But that's okay, because if they make their offensive line better, Sam Darnold is going to play better, and it is going to allow you to potentially go get, whatever QB that is going to be your future guy later down the line. So we'll see. Yeah, Marcus Lawrence, there you go there. I like that. Ernest Jones, they re-signed him too with Jaron Reed. So I think the defense, I liked some things that I saw last year, but for the Seahawks, you need to figure out who your long-term QB is, but before that, you need to make your offensive line better. So, Mac Jones to San Francisco. All right, remember when I said things couldn't get worse, 49ers? I apparently was wrong. I'm so sorry. Mac Jones. It's not going to mean anything, but it just hurts even more. It doesn't help. It just puts salt in the wound. So, it doesn't make anything better. Well, it's not good. It's okay. We're not actually upset at you, Mac Jones. It's just Moosey boy. We did the Lions. They did. Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna change anything. But it doesn't. It's not better. It's Russell Wilson going to the Cleveland Browns, and you can look at that two different ways. You can go like, oh God, Russell run, or Cleveland just going, you know what? This is karmic justice. So yeah, it's a tough time. He's got his energy back. Yeah, with Tours, Jax fan will defend Mac Jones as a backup. Exactly. Backup. You're not looking at anything wrong. Just better hope that Brock Purdy contract is all right. Jay, would they possibly get an emote for Black Day at Dawn? Yes. I think we're probably going to be able to add a new one during the season, just because during the off season, a bunch of members either expire or they wind up just canceling until the season. So it doesn't open up more slots until we get a certain number. I can double check. Let's see what we got. I think it's going to be a while, though. Yeah, you sent me that, but I just don't know which one we replace. I think because we've replaced a whole bunch of them. Let me see. Boop, 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 boop. Hope for a QB soon. We'll see. We'll see. It might be Aaron Rodgers. Definitely could. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, it's gonna take a while. So I'd say during the season, unless we get rid of one. So we just got rid of a bunch. So we'll see. Yeah, Mac Jones 2-year deal. So he is a San Francisco 49er. I know that they remember 49ers had a different 21 QB who we don't speak of. Voldemort was their QB. That's pretty crazy. Very crazy. I wouldn't see him as a quarterback. I feel like Voldemort would be a slot receiver. But it's so sad that Wise no longer a Patriot. We did get Landry Williams, so it evens out, I guess. Yeah. I was talk about heartbreak losing Judon last year. Still not the million stream. It's pretty crazy, man. There's a few donations, I think, recently, too. I'm going to probably shut it down in about 4 days because I think they're going to get the money from YouTube because they already got the other one. But from YouTube, they get it the 21st, I think. So I think that's in about 8 days. Baltimore's a lockdown corner. Really? You think so? All right. And if not, if he gets burned, just Avada Kedavra, AJ Dillon to the Eagles. It makes sense. I didn't think the Packers were going to be bringing him back. They barely brought him back last year. Hope he does well, especially after his injury. He was always dope with the community. So that's it. Nate, it's timing. So I just don't know yet. So I don't know. All right. I'm thinking I'm cool with cracking one brewski. We'll vibe until the end of the brewski. And then I'll skedaddle because that has been about 2 hours. Yeah. Sorry for not making any of these skits these past couple days. Taking care of Moosey and everything. A lot of stress, but he's getting better. We're rocking. But we'll get there. I'm really hoping tomorrow. Today was just insanity. But also the protective sleeves did come for the drawing retreat drawings. They're all sleeved up. I'm looking to go to the post office probably Friday. So again, I will email everybody with their tracking numbers for that I still have. I know, unforgivable. I know. Just slacking over here. Just slacking. What you drinking? There you go. Kansas City. Maybe not the best free agency, but you have good beer. So, to our trade, not Harry Potter joke. All the Harry Potter jokes. Always. Right with the fire. Well, Mac Jones will have a monster 26 season after a year with the 49ers. Of course. Of course. New with the fire. Thoughts on Addison, Sauce Gardner trade rumors? Yeah, I don't think anyone's serious with that. I don't think so. I can't imagine that's a real thing. I don't think that makes any sense for either team, but especially the Jets. Isaiah with a fire. You a fan of Goody not asking if you think he's good or bad? Just how would you grade his tenure and a risk of job loss? Yeah, no, I think that there's pros and cons with him, right? Sauce acknowledged it. I thought he literally, sorry, real quick. I thought he just like quote tweeted a video and was just like, "Oh, you guys are for real." I thought that's what I saw. I could be very wrong. I did just scroll quickly. So, Goody, I think, nails offensive linemen, especially in later rounds. I think he has a history of doing that. Obviously, Josh Myers did not work out. That was unfortunate. But I think that he has been more of a positive for Green Bay than a negative. Last year, I think he had one of the best free agency showings and literally bringing in Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs, which, hell yeah. And then for the draft, like, dude, yeah, he's had some, I feel like he just does well with like the day 2 picks and then some of the day 3 guys he's able to find. But where he could get better is probably round 1 guys, I would say. Definitely could get better in that department. And I feel like with certain positional groups, we go through this where there's a significant need for one group and he'll address it a lot, like by drafting like back-to-back corners, or he'll go and get a bunch of wide receivers one year, or he'll go in and like last year, the safety room, right? The safety room was non-existent last season. I remember sitting down with Mark Murphy and going, are we just throwing our hands up and going, hey, whatever happens with the safeties? And he's like, yeah, pretty much. So he fixed that like in a year. And I was like, okay, that's fantastic. And that's why I was so excited to go get Xavier McKinney. But like, it looks like we're starting to have that once again, because like LVN hasn't developed like we want him to. And not to say that there's no hope for him, but he has to. And then we need our wide receivers to step up. So wide receivers step up. I think that position group is looking better, but I think you need to get some insurance because, again, Watson's going to be out for a little bit. And then you're like Romeo Dobbs, you need to see how he is and make sure he's okay. So I think they're going to still draft a wide receiver. So Richie Tour, Rodgers to Vikings, follow far footsteps. I don't think so, but it would be funny for the memes. Badger Tour, which favorite signing across the NFL so far? I do like Devontae to the Rams a lot. I really like DJ Reed makes so much sense with Detroit, and it's so annoying because I really wanted him as a Packer. So there again, there's some bias there, but I think that and especially how much Carlton Davis got paid. I think that was a good move for Detroit. For Chicago, Odabingo, I think, is going to make that like you're gambling on his potential, and I think his potential is pretty damn good. So I like that too. And then for the Commanders, again, I think getting Tunsil there is going to probably be, at least for the next like couple seasons, the most immediate impact. There might be some speed bumps, but I think it's going to be pretty good. Moosey's good. He's going to the bathroom regularly and also eating. His appetite is very much back. So that's very good. That is very, very good. It's not even Friday. No, it's not. It is not. Yeah, chin to the Raiders. Like, again, the Raiders are going to be a better team than where they were last year, which I know that is a low bar, but I think you kept who you needed to keep. Gino's going to make you more competitive, you know, and then we'll kind of take it from there. But I think they're going to be better. You just hope that the direction they're going in is, yeah, just overwhelmingly positive over these next few seasons. So, Glenn, welcome to the posse. Appreciate you. Thank you. Favorite AFC team? There's AFC teams like I don't mind. Like I don't mind the condensation. The Bills, the Bengals, Strouds have just been fun just to play as them. But right off with the tour. Best sauce for your nuggets. Back in the day, honey mustard. Easy. Honey mustard, I think, is a phenomenal condiment. It's phenomenal. So we'll be back in the championship in 2 years. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. There's some teams I'm looking at with a lot of interest of just what the hell they're going to do. 49ers are one of them. I mean, you knew that this offseason was going to hurt, but yeah, I want to see what they do with Brock Purdy. I'm very curious what that contract is going to look like. Jaguars are another team. Very curious. Dolphins are a team I'm just looking at and hoping for the best over there. Richie with the tour. Unbiased Bosa to Bill's huge if he could stay healthy. I don't think it's huge. I think if he can stay healthy and I think he's good. I think he adds to the team. I don't know about huge, but I'm not sure about that one. They too. We're looking for whoever hit Howie with the beer. Gotta go get him. Honey mustard's great. Yes. Cheers, folks. Appreciate you. Thanks for something, Raider. I appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you. All right, let me put this up here. Yeah, Mac Jones signed a 2-year deal with the 49ers. That was the most recent thing. D-Hop is a Raven. Yes, he is. Mike Williams coming on back. Coming on back to the Chargers. Boom. All right, we're doing that. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Boom. There you go, sweet and sour. Can't go wrong. Wide receiver 1. Of course. Wide receiver 1. You think 65 mil? Yeah. We'll see. Are you saying 65 mil a year? Because I'm curious of where he's going to be around 60. So, what's going to happen, Jair? I'm assuming that he's going to be traded. That I would assume they're going to get some value for him, probably like a third or something. But Purdy 49. Yeah, I just don't know. Dude, QBs. Yeah, market's up. That market's definitely up. I'm curious. I just want to see like where his market is. Because 49ers fans, like, are you going to give him Dak money, do you think? Are you going to give him $60 million a year? In where the team currently is. And it's not even reflective of him. Trav, gonna miss seeing Dylan with the team. Best of luck for him. There you go. I'm glad he can play still after that injury. Rasul Douglas back. I'd love Rasul to come back, but that was always miss Rasul. Oh, love him. Love him. Price tags across the board. I'm telling. Look at the guard market. The guard market. Look at safeties. 3 years ago, we would have been talking about me. You know, been like, oh yeah, but safeties are still undervalued, but no Aaron Rodgers news. We're still waiting. But yep. Claudio says the age of anxiety lesson had me going to a deep into the Great Depression era, especially now with the tariff talk. Also, go Pack Go. Hell yeah, history for the win. Let's go. Rapid fire. Kind of angry we the Lions haven't really addressed the pass rush with a big free agent. I wouldn't stress. I think you got an upgrade in your corner. I think you did, so I think your secondary probably got a little bit better. Having Hutch back is going to make a huge difference, but I would imagine that's going to be addressed during the draft, I would assume. So, down to Rodgers slacking on signing with the Steelers. Apparently he's waiting. He's waiting. There was a picture of him on the beach, pondering, reflecting on life. Fire, your action Rodgers signs with the Packers for one last ride. It wouldn't happen. So, what happened to Goody? Did someone kidnap him? Is he all right? Have you contacted his family? Would probably be my first questions. But I'm assuming he's going to sign a one-day contract at some point. I would assume, and retire as a Packer. We'll see. We'll see, but I think he's going to wind. I think the Steelers are 1, the Giants are 2, and then there's a decent sized gap for the Vikings at 3. So, yeah, that's it. We'll see. Please come to New York. I feel better about Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers than I feel about him on the Giants right now. I also don't think that's what the Giants need. I don't think the Giants need Aaron Rodgers right now. And I think you make the argument the Steelers don't either. I think the team that makes the most sense in that scenario is the Vikings. Because the only team that you're signing Aaron Rodgers is if you go, hey, we have a team and we need like a quarterback that is going to be able to make some of these throws, and Rodgers can still make some of those throws. But I don't think they do that because it doesn't make sense for the Vikings unless they're literally like, okay, right this second, we're going for a Super Bowl. I think right this second, you go with JJ McCarthy and then could have a Super Bowl window if he turns out to be really good. So I don't think that they would go beyond JJ. It doesn't make sense for them. You want to get younger at that position, and that's why the Jets even took a risk on Aaron Rodgers. They thought they had the team ready to go and win a Super Bowl. So I don't think so. Gwendolyn with a tour mentor, maybe. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is signing a mentor contract. I don't think he's gonna. So, Mac Jones to the 49ers. Good backup. You got a backup who can play. So, it's not moving the needle on anything, and it's not going to make 49ers feel better about anything, but William at Terra. Top, Boys 3 and Moosey's doing better. Packers project to be over the cap for 2026, but can restructure. More cap casualties are an unpleasant reality of fandom. Yeah, I mean, look at the 49ers. They're going through it, right? This happens every year. There's always teams that, sometimes it's just there's not enough money. And you can restructure and you kick cans down the road, but eventually there's going to be years where you're not doing a lot in free agency or you're not super competitive. Andrew, so Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. Green Bay play Pittsburgh and Ireland. Ooh, maybe. That'd be interesting. Adam, welcome to the posse. Appreciate you. Thank you. Daddle is a Panther. He is. Can't hurt. And I would assume that the Cowboys are going to be drafting a running back. So, and plus there's a few guys that he can take a shot on. So, feel about the Patriots? Yeah, go get weapons. Keep building that offensive line. Just trust that process. Bit by bit. You build in the trenches whenever you get the guy. And whether that's an average quarterback or a good quarterback or a great quarterback, the team is going to be better. So that's what needs to remain fresh and consistent. Be able to block, and you'll be all right. So, yeah, I mean, Thomas, I think, like I said before, I think Geno Smith is a better fit in Seattle than Sam Darnold is. But if Seattle addresses their offensive line in a good way, like in a productive way in the draft, then they're rocking. So, yeah. Jonathan to trade Jay Alexander to the Broncos. I think the Ravens want him. Logan Fire. Breaking news. Pakistan wide receiver one-time Grossi. 3-year, $60 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. Yes. No, let me go to a rival. I want to bankrupt them. I like to do that. Slowing to Chiefs need offensive depth, safety, and half a D-line. Yeah. I mean, you have players that can make up for a lot of those deficiencies, but... Dark Red with a fire. Magic Rodgers, the Steelers, and Tomlin has his first below 500 season. Be drama. Giants fan rather have a mid-tier vet, but Shane is desperate. Fair. That's very, very fair. But that would be... I mean, a lot of drama. Going on fire. Send some men to the UFL after you cut from the Rams. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm glad the UFL exists, right? So it gives these guys another opportunity. Maybe. Potential. Oh, Adam Thielen is coming back. So Adam Thielen is coming back with the Panthers. So there you go. Panthers get to keep one of their receivers. Okay, let's put this here. Boom, boom, boom. Down to 5. Is there any world you do something different than what you're doing now? Is there a world? Yeah, I mean, I was a teacher for 6 years. So, I think there's a world where I was doing that. I really would like to make a movie. I'd like to do that at some point if I ever have the opportunity. But, yeah, I love what I do. So, I'm good. UFL contracts? I mean, they're not NFL contracts, but, hey, you could still make money from playing football. So that's pretty dope. Ref, the movie. It's actually fully subtitled. The only actual dialogue is flag in different inflections the entire time. And it's 2.5 hours. And that's before the credits. The credits are actually 23 minutes long, so it's a 2 hour and 53-minute movie. You have to wear 3D glasses to be able to read the credits because those are written just as flag, but if you put glasses on, you can actually see their names. So black and white, of course. It's black and white. Yeah, that's my vision, and it's all dialogue too. There's no action, so I think so. Identify what kind of movie for serious is it? Flag? Is the story Wildflowers? Is it the Empire of the Strouds? No. Yeah, no. I legit would like to make a movie. I would like to make a drama movie, and if I then could do another one, I'd love to make a horror movie. I would love to. So, post-credit scene. It's Ref taking off a fake mustache that he has been wearing the entire movie, and it's only a slightly thicker mustache, so it's really not adding a whole lot, but he tears it off like it's a big reveal and goes, flag? And then it's the end of the movie, and then it says Ref will return. So, yeah, that's what I really want. Last bit, they tour black and white, but with flag in full color. Yes, 100%. 100%. It's on high school social studies, so Global 9 honors, sophomores in Global 10, AP Euro, psychology, civics, economics, and U.S. history for like 6 months. So, Jonathan Fire. What do you think the Lions need to make it a big game, to the big game, other than stealing your free agency and draft picks? Yeah, stop doing that. Pass rush. Yeah, maybe some depth for the secondary, but pass rush, I'd say, is your biggest need right now. Gwendolyn Fire. Another UFL example includes Trey Lance and Hendon Hooker when the Lions got him. Tom with a tour. Flag, 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 flag. Give me the Oscar. Give me the Oscar. The Lighthouse meets North Dallas 40. Exactly. Done. Done. Done, done, done. Yeah, Devin, it should be good. It should be pretty darn good. I'm excited for it. We get flags for attending the movie. Yes. Yes, you do. And at the end of the movie, you actually throw your flags at the screen, which then would cause a lot of screens to break. And then it makes us all reflect on the fragility of the theater industry and how we need to save it. And then we band together and we save movies. That's what I would like to do. Richie to Fire. Ever been to a professional lacrosse game in person? If you had the ability to go to a Buffalo Bandits game, so fun. No, in high school, I went to a couple of lacrosse games, but yeah, nothing past that. Ruben, need to make a horror film called Flag? Yes, and it's literally just the ref walking around like Jason Voorhees throwing a flag. With a tour, A-Rod to Steelers when? LOL. I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance, so we'll see. Ref 2, the flag and ink. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I went through all the teams. Went through all of them, so rewind. We're winding on down. So, going on the tour, heard Matt Corral had to pivot in the NFL. Pivot. Asante Samuel, yeah, he hasn't been signed yet. I'm curious to see if he's going to get signed these next few weeks or going to wait till after the draft. I would assume he's going to get signed for a cheapish deal. So, with opera music, of course. Of course. Yes. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a flag. Exactly. And then it's just walks away. Just walks away. Ref 3, return to the flag. No, but I appreciate y'all. It was dope to be able to just come on here for a couple hours after dealing with the sick puppers for the past couple weeks and just talk some ball. I'm gonna hope to put out a skit tomorrow. I think Clickbait's happening tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, so that will be out tomorrow. I'm hoping I can finish it. And then I'm going to probably aim for Monday. I'm waiting on a couple of news stories to break, like with Trey Hendrickson and Rodgers. And then I want to do if the NFL is scripted free agency. So we'll get there. But folks, I appreciate the hell out of you. We're also almost to 821,000 subs. So feel free to subscribe. Helps out the channel. We're trying to get to 1 million. We'll get there eventually. Isaiah with Dave Fiverr. I actually got a job with TCM, and I get to watch and talk about movies from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Hell yes. Hell to the yes, Isaiah. That's a dope-ass job. Folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, go back, go. Forever.